Hey ladies, so today I want to do a mini training, especially if you are stuck, are undecided whether you should stay or leave your hubby. If you're new to the page, I've had so many babes who've joined the page in the last couple of weeks. My name is Miss Linda and I help wives easily get back the queen treatment they once had without too much headache, without too much stress, using the power of your femininity. So last week, hi everybody joining in. So last week, as I was sitting in my home office, looking at my MacBook, I was going through the notes for some of my private clients. I was actually getting ready for a private client call, and most of the wives who come to me, they are wives and they want to stay happily married. Okay? They want to stay happily married, they love their families, but they are noticing a bit of a distance with their men. The treatment that they used to get in the beginning is not there anymore. They are now having the same arguments over and over again. They can't remember the last time they went out on a romantic date. It's like the man has stopped investing emotionally in the relationship. And one thing I kept seeing over and over again was all of them. And this was so interesting because I looked at one client file, went to the next one, and I'm seeing all of them deep down. Yes, they say they wanted to be happily married, to stay happily married. They've been married for 8 years, 6 years and more. But the one thing that they kept struggling with is they were so confused. They didn't know whether to stay or to walk away. So I went through one file. I was just looking at my notes. I went to the next client. Linda, I want you to help me to decide whether to continue in this 6-year marriage or to walk away. Linda, I'm seriously contemplating leaving my marriage. Please help me decide. That was the one thing that kept frustrating them the most. Even if they said they wanted to be spoiled, even if they said they wanted to be happy, but deep down they were conflicted. They didn't know, do I stay, do I walk away? And if I'm sure somebody here right now is probably feeling that way. If this is you, just nod, because drop a heart and say yes if this is you. If secretly, yes, you are sitting in your relationship, but you can't really figure out, should I stay, should I walk away? And it got me thinking, because I too was there. I too was there. I battled with that decision in my mind. And it's insane. Deep down, yes, you have a loving man. Yes, he is a good man. Technically, you are two good people. But then again, you've reached a point where the relationship is slowly just fading. And you keep thinking about yourself 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and you're like, oh my goodness, is this how the rest of my life is gonna be like? So I remember also going through that phase. And as I was looking through my private client files, I'm like, wow, we've all sort of like been there, especially if you're thinking about separating, if you're thinking about leaving your marriage. That is usually one of the big decisions that anyone has to make, because you don't know whether you're being too dumb for wanting to leave, or maybe you feel like maybe there is something that I can do to change the whole dynamic. You just don't know, because technically you love your family. And for all these, my private clients, and even I myself at that point, we love our families. We were treated with value, we were wedded. And as I was sitting down in my home office, the sun is warm, shining, everything is going on perfectly. It just got me thinking that if my private clients are going through this, there are women who are also going through the same thing. There are also so many other wives who are going through the same thing. And this is really applicable to wives. sitting there thinking, should I stay, should I go? And I remember when I was separated, because I was briefly separated for 6 months. And that was one of the major decisions that held me, it actually kept me stuck. And I remember going around everywhere looking for information to help me to figure out this thing. I read so many books, I did so many programs, I read divorce books, I read separation books, I went through my own private mentorship. I invested so much time, money, and effort just to figure out this thing. Should I stay? Should I walk away? And eventually, because if you've been following me, I started my femininity journey 4 years ago. That's when I really started investing in this whole femininity thing. However, it hits different when it comes to you deciding, how do you know whether this is a relationship that's it's just going through its motions? Because most of relationships, if you've been in a if you are married, relationships are like waves. That's just how the cycle of life is. And after studying nearly almost everything under the sun, and I knew deep down I was not going to go to church for support, because I'm like, no, I really don't want to hear more stories around this too shall pass, or just go and persevere, this is how marriage is. I did not want to hear that kind of perspective. And finally, after investing time, so much money, so much of my resources, I finally figured out a way. I finally figured out a way. And that's how I made that conscious decision to, yes, stay in the marriage. And that's how we've been back together. It's like we are now, it's been the best time. Honestly, I feel so much lighter. I would not even want to go back to my first years in marriage. And here's the thing. Had I known what I know now, and drop a yes if you can relate to this. Had I known what I knew now, honestly, I wouldn't have even been separated. My son. Bernard, anytime I come here, you come. Yes, you can go and play. Yes, you can take it. Anytime I start this live, he has to find his way upstairs to come look for me. So, had I known what I know now, I wouldn't have gotten separated. I wouldn't have spent 6 miserable months separated, stuck in confusion. You don't know whether to stay, whether to walk away. You're shuffling your kids up and down. There's so much pressure, there's so much tension on you. I would not want any married woman who's feeling she's in a bare minimum marriage. She's feeling maybe her hubby is cold, distant, critical. I would not wish for any married woman to go into Christmas with a deep, heavy heart because she just doesn't know whether she should stay or walk away. She's battling that decision. And let me tell you why this is so important. Because until you are clear, until you decide, am I staying and reconnecting this relationship, or am I walking away and going to start afresh, you will remain stuck. I spent 6 crazy months going all over the place just to find myself, just to figure things out. And this is the work I help my private clients with. So even last week when I was seated in my office just looking at the notes, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If you're in a bare minimum relationship, that's the one thing. That's usually the one thing that keeps a woman stuck even for 3-4 years. You're just confused. And why am I talking about this? Because next week I'm running a free live training. If you are currently in a marriage where you feel you keep having the same conversations over and over again, you're always home alone on Friday, Saturday nights, like nights, the long weekend, probably you've not seen your hubby, or maybe he's just rocked up. And maybe at the beginning of the marriage, he used to treat you like a goddess, but then now things are just, it's like you don't even know who you've turned out to be and who he is anymore. If you're feeling a distance in the relationship, because as women, we feel this. If that is you, this live training, I have packed all the insights from working with my private clients to help you get back the relationship you deserve. Next week on Thursday, I have all the details. It's on my profile. Because honestly, you don't need to get separated. You don't even need to be thinking about divorce. Sometimes I laugh and I even tell Hubby, I'm like, it's like I went through this divorce so that, not divorce, separation, so that no one else has to go through it. And I've developed a framework and a guide in terms of how to know whether to leave, whether to walk away. And the reason why so many women are stuck is because they do not know if you knew what you needed to do, you'd probably not be stuck. And I packed all the knowledge, all the insights that I have into this training. So drop a yes if you can relate. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is many times as women, and for me, it was until I made that conscious decision that, you know what, Linda, yes, I'm ready to give this relationship a second chance. That was when everything started to line up. Can we make your hair at the beauty cottage? Who is this? Feel free to DM me if you want to make my hair. Okay. Feel free to DM me. Okay. I know the owner of Beauty Cottage. She's my namesake. So yeah. I do my hair in very many different places. I did something, what is this? It's what? Tex Lux, something like that. I'm loving my hair out right now. When I'll be ready to braid, I'll come. Okay. So one of the biggest reasons why you're stuck, you are unsure. You don't know, because you don't know what you don't know. Okay. So probably you've tried having the same conversations over and over again. Why would you be having the same conversations over and over again? And in fact, it said insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Yeah? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's insanity. And so many of you are coming to me in my DMs. And I think there are like over 300 of you are already checking out the free training. For those of you who have not yet checked out the training, go to my profile right now. It's titled The Pampered Wife Secrets. And I'll be breaking down how you can use your femininity in the most simplest way to get the love you deserve. I'll also be talking about the mindset shift you need to be very clear whether to stay or leave your relationship. And I am assuming you will have a healthy relationship. Please do not come to this training if you're telling me your man is beating you. That's, to me, is a non-negotiable. I don't even understand, and I'll speak like this with all the compassion. Why would I come to discuss about a man who is harming my body? Why? So there are some relationships that to me do not deserve a second chance. Yeah? If you are with someone who is addicted, they are mental health practitioners. If you are a man who's beating you and you've decided that's the love you want, speak to domestic violence experts. If you haven't, a man with any form of addiction, that's not my area. But if you want your man to spend money on you, if you want him to take you out, to treat you, to bring back fun, playful energy that you once had in your marriage, I am your girl. Okay, so there's a question here, stuck in a toxic mealing with a junkie. I am not the right person for you. Please speak with a mental health practitioner, because an addiction on its own, that's an unhealthy relationship, and mental health experts are the ones who are equipped to deal with such cases. Okay. So let's see if there's any other question. Once again, the details are on my profile. Feel free to check it out. I've gotten so many questions like, what time is it? It's next week on Thursday from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And let's see if there are any other questions. There are over 300 of you. In fact, I just came to check out my laptop to check out very briefly what's happening. There are so many of you who are checking out. Please feel free to sign up. I will not guarantee that there will be any replays. So the first reason why you're stuck in a bare minimum marriage is because you do not really truly know who you are, and you do not value yourself. Yeah? So many women, and I speak to some ladies and I hear this thing of, this man is doing this man is doing that. Okay. Where is your essence of value? Nobody is going to give you value. Nobody is going to give you value. And usually it's because sometimes as women, we've not been taught how to really treat ourselves as a priority. So maybe you feel like, oh, to be a good wife, you have to put up with a drunk husband, or to be a good wife, you just have to put up with all this. If he's not paying school fees, it's okay. You go and do the hard work, cover up for him. The other day I was out and some babes were talking, and in fact these women, and these are very wealthy women. And you can hear one is saying she's the one who's building the home up country, and you're wondering where's the husband. Is like, oh, the husband, he doesn't like dust. Yeah? So she's the one doing the work. But you see, she would be struggling in such a scenario in silence, crying herself to sleep at night. Why? Because she feels guilty. She feels guilty for even wanting her husband to do more. Maybe she's tried over and over again, nothing is working, so she's decided she has children, therefore let her take up the role and go and do the work itself. And at the end of the day, I would want to ask you, because that's one of the things that I kept asking myself. What story would I tell my son when I am 60 years old about love? What story would I tell him about love? And I know there are some women who think, oh my goodness, half a man is better than no man. I would not want to be lonely and this and that. And I say, if that's the life you subscribe to, then that really is up to you. But there are so many other women who come to me and they truly want to leave a healthy legacy. They say, Linda, I want to enjoy my life. I'm winning at work already. I'm very successful. I have money. Like when it comes to such kind of achievement, I'm educated, I'm smart. However, this one area of my love life, I'm struggling with. And I do not want to be just another story where you have a successful woman. Yes, she's successful in the boardroom, yet she's crying in the bedroom. And these are the women who come to me and we work together. One thing I've realized is that there's a lot of societal programming in terms of what it means to be a wife, First of all, the energy of wife. So many babes want to get married. And once they get married, it's like the woman you are and the woman who you've become, those are like day and night. Yes, you can argue and say that, yes, I am a mom now. I am busy 24/7. I am hardworking. I have to do this. I have no time. But what you don't realize is the programming of the role of a wife. There's very little associated with fun. There's very little associated with pleasure. If you look at the role of a wife, like even our great-grandmothers, our grandmothers, they married kings. Like my grandmother was a third wife to literally a king where we come from. Yeah? So for them, it was survival, purely survival. Then the generation of our moms, they came in, it was also still a lot of survival because remember, they came in with independence, so there was still a lot of survival. Many women were coming, people were coming from the village, coming to the city to make things work, so there was still a lot of survival. But our generation, we went to school, we are smart, we are hardworking. This was the generation where we started marrying a lot more for love. So the essence of marriage is, and you may not realize, that's why when you sit down in all these kitchen parties, in the baby showers, they will be putting into you the mentality of survival. Linda, go, make sure the home is clean, make sure everything is intact, don't bother your husband, be his peace. That is a woman who really truly needs this man to survive. Meanwhile, you truly don't. You have a job. If you really truly wanted, you could go out and work. That's why sometimes you might say you want your man to pamper you, but the way you've been programmed is you're looking at him like, oh my goodness, you don't realize that, you don't think that marriage is meant to be joyful and fun and pleasurable. So there's a big disconnect. And the more I speak, and I've also experienced it, because even when I think it was around year number 6, in my marriage, I'm married 11 years. I just started feeling this thing of, I'm losing myself. I'm losing myself. I'm losing myself. And I just couldn't say why. Nobody is telling me to dress in a certain way. But it's just this thing where you sit down and you're like, oh my goodness, I have to be responsible. I have to be an adult. I have to be this way. I have to show up as a good wife. So it was all an act. That's why the whole institution of clandes, that's where pleasure is. And I spent so many years, let me tell you, I have gone and I have studied with these women. I've studied with mistresses, I've studied with dominatrix, I have studied with all these women. The way they approach relationships is very different from the way wives approach relationships. Very, very, very different. Very different. And why? Because the institution of wifehood, generally, and this is why I post what I post, I teach what I teach, the institution of wifehood needs more lightness. And it might be very, very confusing when somebody sees how to be a pampered wife. Like, pampered? Maybe it's probably never really truly occurred to you. Or maybe you say, oh, I want to be spoiled. Oh, I want to be pampered. But deep down, do you really truly believe that you can get that? Do you truly believe that that's what the kind of relationship you can have? Drop a yes and let me know, because this is landing for someone. This is landing for someone. This is landing for someone. So drop your questions if you have them. Like I mentioned, how much do you charge for private counseling? So right now, what I would suggest, DM me what exactly you'd need. But right now, I would very much prefer you check out my training that's upcoming next week. Go to my profile, declutter. Go to my profile, sign up for the free training. That's the best way to work with me right now. Okay, and then we will pick it up from there. I trust I've answered that question. Let's see if there's anything else. Any other question? Let me see if there's any other question that's coming up. Okay, so that's the first reason why you're stuck. It's because of programming. Okay. When you're trying to make a decision, you don't really hear yourself. You're hearing your mother talking, you're hearing the church talking, you're hearing everybody talking. So all that clouds your judgment. You don't even really truly know what you want. Okay, maybe you look at your relationship and you say, okay, fine, maybe I should stay for my kids. And I've been there. I've thought through all this. That's why I talk about what I talk about. And it's for this reason I decided, let me put together this free training. Let me put all the insights I've gathered from my private clients, even for myself. If you are looking for the easiest way to get back queen treatment from your hubby, if your hubby has gone cold, he's become distant, femininity is the easiest way. You won't even need, oh my goodness. I personally never went for therapy. I didn't go for counseling. Okay. My method is through femininity. And I will teach you exactly the mindset that you need to have to get into this feminine energy. Because for me, I believe it's just the easiest way to handle relationships. But it requires guidance. I've spent years upon years getting this information, making my own mistakes. I even got separated and continued going to figure things out until I have a framework. And that's what I even teach my private clients. In fact, one, she was just emailing me yesterday and she's telling me, Linda, this is the best investment. She was actually on the verge of leaving her hubby. A few weeks later, they've gone for dinner. She's expressed herself. The hubby is even thinking he now wants to revive his second business because he wants to really properly take care of her. They are going out, they are talking to each other, and before it was like Cold War in the home. So this stuff works. Not only did it work for me, it also works for my private clients. Okay, so let's see if there's any other question. Thank you. Yeah, today I didn't wear any makeup. I'm like, yeah, let me do this. Let me come and speak. Okay. All right. So once again, doors are open for the free training. Please go to my profile. It's called The Pampered Wife Secrets, and I'll teach you everything you need to know to get started on your femininity journey so that you can turn around with ease. There's no much hard work involved with femininity. This is stuff that's already within you. If you're also confused whether you should stay or leave your marriage, I will give you the right mindset to give you the confidence and clarity for that. Okay, so check out the details of my profile. If you have any further clarifications, feel free to email me. And I even see there are dudes who follow me. I didn't realize, actually there's a huge, I didn't realize there are like more than 10,000 men who follow my page. Thank you so much. I've seen a guy called Michael. Thanks a lot for the support. Honestly, when I started posting this content, I didn't realize how much men would be connecting with what I'm saying. I guess it's because, yeah, this is what us as women feel. So yeah, thanks for following me. I have so many of your DMs. Yeah, men have been reaching out a lot to me. Yeah, thanks for the support. And I think even as I'm speaking with men, one of the things that I'm noticing, and it's interesting, I think maybe because I'm in between now, you will be amazed. The one thing both men and women want is to be happy. That's it. The one thing, the husbands who are emailing me, who are DMing me, who are asking me for support, who are saying, Linda, come talk to us, talk to our wives. How can we do this? How can we do that? I think I'm losing my marriage. The wives are also saying the same thing. And as I speak with them, there's a common ground. Everybody wants to be happy. First of all, for ourselves, and then also for our kids. So ladies, don't let this year be another year that just rolls by. Don't let 2023 be just another year where you go, I don't know if you've booked your Christmas holiday, you go to Mombasa, and on 26th you just be sitting in the evening looking at each other wondering, what the French? Another year with this guy. Okay. Sharon, probably it's my network, I don't know. Possibly it's your network, because I can hear myself perfectly. All right, so have a nice rest of the holiday. Check out the training in my profile and see you then. Okay, bye.